Welcome to Body Torque Pilates and Wellness. My name is Jacky Fenton and we're going to be going through a Pilates session today for back strengthening. You need to do the warm-up first before you do this session, so make sure you complete your warm-up. So we're going to start by laying on our back. I will show you several levels. So we're coming into our set-up position. We've got our feet hip width apart. We're zipped and hollowed. Our back is in neutral. We can just about get our hand to our spine but no further. Our shoulder blades are back and down. Our head is long and our chin is tucked in. We're going to start with some leg slides. So you're going to have a cream cake under one foot. So that means the foot that's on the floor is nice and light and there's no pressure in it. Take a deep breath in through the nose. You exhale and you slide a leg away as far as you can without your back lifting or pressing this foot down into the floor. You then return the leg and you alternate to the other side. Make sure your shoulders remain loose and not pulled round the front, so they should be relaxed. We're going to aim to do about 20 of these. Do a couple more, keep that cream cake nice and light, and do remember that if you take your leg out and you feel your cream cake is gone or your back is lifting, then you must stop the leg shorter than taking it out to its full range of movement. So we'll stop there. So we have a quick knee hug, just release off tension. And we're going to come back again to our set-up position. So we're just going to go into some spine curls, which is a really good for releasing of the lower back. So all we're going to do is from here we take a deep breath in, we exhale and we tuck under our pelvis. So we push our back flat into the floor. We then inhale and we release the back to neutral. Now you only want to go again to where your hand can go to your spine, not into a big arch. So we're going to do a few of these. We're going to tuck under the pelvis, press the back into the floor, and then release back into neutral. So we're zipped and hollowed while we're doing this motion. And if we can, we're going to try and do it without squeezing the bottom. Just rocking the pelvis backwards and forwards. Lovely if you come home from work and your back is feeling a little bit tense. Get on the floor and do a few spine curls to help release the tension. Let's do 4 more. 3, and last one. 4. Good, just give yourself a little wiggle. And then just back to our set-up position. We're going to go into scissors now and I'm going to show you the several levels. So our first option is lifting one leg to 90 degrees, make sure the knee is over the hip. We've got our cream cake or light foot under the other leg. So from here, we take a deep breath in, we exhale, and we start to lower the leg from the hip bone, and we come back over the hip again. Now the lower you take the leg, the harder that's going to be. So if you find your lower back or your cream cake have gone, then you need to reduce the range of movement. So you can go down maybe to about half and then come back. So you want to try and aim for 8 on the one leg before you switch. So this is the easier and the beginner option. Your second option will be in double knee fold, knees are over hips. We have 2 options here. Our first option is to leg lower and return, leg lower and return. Again, back must stay neutral. If it's starting to lift, you reduce your range of movement. So this is why we're aiming for 20, so that will be 1, that will be 2. A harder one in double knee fold will be alternating the legs. So as one leg comes back, the other leg drops out. And again, this will be 20. So those are the 2 options in double knee fold. And we have an option, the full option of the advance, so we straighten the legs into the air, lift up, bring one leg towards you, pull that leg in and release at the other side. This will be 30. 1, and 2. So you can do any of those options of scissors. And then when you've done, you can have a full body stretch, or you can have a knee hug. So I'll wait a few moments just for you to complete your session. Good. And then from here we can come into one leg stretch. So again, I'm going to show you the different levels. So we're back to our setup position. We start in our single knee fold for our first option, the beginner option. So you've got your cream cake, your light foot under here. You've got your leg at 90 degrees. So from here, again, we take a deep breath in. We exhale, we extend the leg from the hip and the knee. We come back to knee over hip again. We extend, we come back. The higher you take the leg, the easier that is going to be on your back and being able to keep your cream cake as well. So if you're finding that's quite easy and you can keep your lower back in neutral and the cream cake under the foot, then you can take your leg down lower. But that's going to be your decision on that one. So if you're doing this one, it's 8 on the one leg before you switch to 8 on the other. Your second option, again, is double knee fold. Here, we're going to alternate the legs. And again, the lower you go, the harder that's going to be. So this is 20, 1, 2. Your harder option, because you lift yourself off the floor, you bring one leg in, you take your outside hand to your outside ankle, inside hand to inside knee, straighten the other leg, and then alternate the legs, and this will be 30, 1, 2. So that's the harder option. Okay? So you can do either of those options, and then once you've done that, you can then stretch again. So leave you a little bit of time to do those options. Good, then we're going to come into a shoulder bridge. So we need to remove the head block for this option, but you can keep your cushion. So we're going to come back into our setup position. We want our feet as close as we can get them to our bottom, but not forced in too much because we don't want to get cramped. We're in our setup position. So from here, we're going to take a deep breath in, exhale, tuck under the pelvis into the spine curl, and roll up bone by bone, nice and slow, through the spine, up into the shoulder blades. And then when we get to the shoulder blades, we're going to take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring our arms up and over to give us a nice stretch through our ribs. We leave your hands there. We take a deep breath in. We exhale, we start to tuck under the tailbone. We roll back down to neutral. Now, if you feel your ribs are really flaring, you need to lift your arms off the floor slightly. We come back to neutral. We inhale and bring our arms back over. So again, we tuck under, we roll up. Deep breath in, arms over. Inhale, exhale, start to roll down. Back to our neutral position and bring the arms over. Do a few more of those. Now remember, we need to keep our feet flat on the floor. So no rolling out, no lifting your toes. Feet need to be flat. Now if you feel you're getting cramp in the back of your legs, then you either need to move your legs probably closer to your bottom. So just check they haven't moved away. Let's do 2 more. Arms up and over. Trying to relax the bottom, trying not to squeeze it. Back to neutral. And let's do 1 more. Rolling back to neutral. Well done. A nice release is to bring the knees in and roll them round little circles. One way, then the other way. You can even keep the feet together and separate the knees, whichever you prefer. And then you're going to bring your head block back if you need it. I'm going to come into arm circles. So with this one we're going to have single knee fold, cream cake under the other foot. We're going to bring our arms up. We're going to drop our shoulder blades down so they're secure on the floor. So from here we're going to take a deep breath in, exhale, take our arms as far behind us as we can without our shoulder blades lifting to our ears or without our lower back lifting. We then inhale, we bring our arms round, down towards the hip, and we come back to the start. So this leg needs to stay up, this leg has your cream cake. And we're going to repeat, and we're going to do 5 circles in one direction. And then 5 circles in the other direction. Now if you've got any shoulder injuries, you may be limited on your range of movement, which is fine. You just take your arms to the position that is comfortable. We'll do one more in this direction. And we're going to switch, make sure this leg is still lifted, this cream cake is still under the foot. We're going to unwind, we're going to go the opposite way. Remembering to keep the shoulder blades down, zipped and hollowed, back needs to stay in neutral. Just keep an eye on all those things. 2 more. Last one. Good. And then you're going to bring the leg down, and then you're going to repeat on the other side, which I'm not going to do for you, but you can do that when you do the session at home. Okay? So after you've finished off your exercise, you can then hug the knees or have a full body stretch. Good. And when you finish that, you're going to sit yourself up, either roll yourself up or sit yourself up to a sitting position. And we're going to sit up nice and tall. If you've got any lower back issues, then I suggest you pop your hands underneath your knees just to make sure you don't go too far back. We're going to zip and hollow. If you haven't got any back issues currently, then you can obviously have your hands to the side. So I'll show you both options. You're going to sit up nice and tall to start with. Take a deep breath in, exhale. Tuck under the pelvis, create a C shape in the base of your spine and roll yourself back. Now if you've got your hands behind your legs, you're only going to go as far as your hands will let you go. You inhale and hold, you exhale, you come back up to straight. You inhale first, you exhale, you roll down. You inhale and hold, you exhale, come back. Now if you haven't got any back issues at present, there's no pain in other words, you can have your hands at the side. Take a deep breath in, exhale, tuck under. Now you can roll back now as far as you want to, but without lifting your heels. Inhale and hold. Exhale, come back up to straight. Zip and hollow, remember. Tuck under, roll back. You're looking up at the ceiling, you're not looking at your knees. Inhale and hold. Exhale, come back up. Okay, so you've got 2 different options there. So you can do 16 of those, if you can make it. If you can't, obviously you stop when your form is gone. Then when you've done, you can roll back down and have a good old stretch. Because then we're going to roll over and do some back work. So we're going to start with a dart. So we're going to bring our forehead onto the floor and our arms down by our side. We're going to relax our legs. So let your toes go together and let your heels roll open. And we're going to relax completely from our bottom downwards. So arms come down to the side. Tuck under the tailbone, zip and hollow. Shoulders back. Take a deep breath in, exhale. Lift your upper body off the floor and draw those arms down towards your heels. Really draw the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale and come down. As we lift, we're tucking the chin in. We're not looking up. We want to tuck in the chin. And then we come down. Exhaling as we lift. Inhale as we come down. And down. So we're going to do about 16 of these. Now again, if you've got any back issues at the moment, you're not going to come up very high at all. So you're going to think about just lifting slightly off the floor, squeezing down the shoulders, But on all options, I want you to really think about lengthening. So I want you to think about growing through the spine, as if I've got this golden thread and I'm trying to pull your head and your spine forward. So as we lift, we want to grow forward, but still draw down those shoulders. So if you've got back issues at the moment, then just come a little bit off the floor and lengthen more than lift. The higher you lift, the more strain you're going to put across the lower back, okay? So we should be feeling this across our shoulders, not our lower back. So if we are feeling locks in our lower back, it's normally because we're lifting our legs, squeezing our bottom, or we've pushed our tummy in the floor, or coming up too high. So try and do those things. We want to really feel it across the shoulders more than anything else. So do one more. And then we'll release. And our release stretch coming up. And sitting back. Squeezing the arms forward. Get a good old stretch. Good. Then we're going to come back down onto the floor again. So we're going to cross our arms over and we're going to work on our lower back now. We're going to do some leg lifts. So again, if you've got lower back issues, don't lift too high. Think about lengthening more than the lifting portion. So shoulders back and down, tuck under the tailbone. This is for people with current back issues or for beginners. This is the first option, which is single leg lifts. So you take a deep breath in, you exhale, you lift a leg, not very high, but you lengthen that leg. Really feel the lengthening happening through the leg. You then come down and then you switch to the other leg. Now you want to make sure that your hips stay level. You don't want to lift up too high where you're rocking. Hips need to stay level and down. So we lift, we lengthen, we lower. We lift, we lengthen, we lower. So that's beginner option or people with back issues. If you haven't got back issues, then you can do a double leg lift. So both legs lift and lengthen and we lower down. So still lengthening, again not very high, and down. So we're zipping and hollowing on those. So again, we want to do about 16 of those if we can, or 16 individual ones. Okay, so do those, and then once you've done those, again you can wiggle or you can sit back and stretch and tidy up. And then we're going to come back down again into another back exercise. I'm going to come into the diamond press. So we're going to create a diamond shape with our hands, and we're going to put that diamond shape on the cushion and going to put your head on that diamond. Shoulder blades back and down. So again, we're relaxing our legs, we're not using the legs. We take a deep breath in, we exhale. This is the first option. You lift your upper back off the floor, but you keep your arms down, but they're light. You're not pressing in the floor, and you're drawing your shoulder blades down. We inhale, come down. We exhale, we lift, we draw the shoulder blades down. We inhale, and come down. So our first option, relax the legs. Again, not about height. We should be feeling this in our shoulder blades. So, if you're more intermediate and you've got no back issues, you can lift with your arms off the floor. So they stay glued to your head. You do not use your legs, you do not use your bottom, so that all stays relaxed. And you come down. So again, we want to aim for about 16 of those. And once we've done those, we come back and we stretch. And then we're going to come up onto all fours, and we're going to come into tabletop. So you can have our hands directly under our shoulders, our knees directly under our hips. So we're zipped and hollowed, our back is in neutral, our head is in line with our spine. Our first option is to slide one of our legs away as far as we can, without the hip rocking forward. So you want to put more weight in this hand, so the hand of the leg that's moving. We come back, and then we alternate to the other side. So that's your first option, and that's keeping your feet down on the floor. Your second option will be to lift the leg off the floor. Again, keep the hip level. Come back and switch to the other side. So it's not about height again, lift too high and you will turn the hips. Make sure the knees come back hip width apart when you come back. Your third option will be opposite arm, opposite leg. Keeping the hips stable. Come back. And alternate. Now you should be feeling this in the core at all levels. If you're not, as you take the leg out, you need to adjust the hip, adjust the weight. Think about moving the weight from the knee into the hand, just to try and get some of the weight back into the core. So there are all the different options. So again, we're going to aim, if we can, for about 12 of those. And then we're going to sit back and stretch that out. And release. We're going to come back down to the floor. We're going to go into a cobra. So again, we're going to relax our legs. We're going to bring our arms down by our sides, palms face up this time. Relax the legs. Tuck under the tailbone. Take a deep breath in, exhale. Lift your upper body off the floor, and as you do so, you turn your palms down, which squeezes your shoulder blades together. You inhale and you lower. Again, we're squeezing the shoulder blades. We're lengthening through the spine. Then we lower down. We lift, turn our palms, lengthen, grow through the spine, and come down. So again, we're going to look for about 16 of those if you can, or as many as you can with good form. And when you've done, we're going to come up and stretch, because that's the last exercise, and just stretch that all out. It'd be good to do some cat-cows after we finished. So we're up on our knees again. We're going to tuck under the tailbone. We're going to roll up through our back, tucking in our head into cat. We then release the tailbone. We bring the back down and bring the head out. Lovely release for the spine. Again, come up, tuck under, lift. And then we come down. And then one more, and we're going to come into a moving cat now. So as we lift up, we then sit back on the heels. We bring the elbows to the floor. We then bring our nose through to our fingers and push up into our cow again. Lift up into cat, sit back on the heels, elbows down, scoop nose through. We've got one more, lifting up, sitting back. Elbows down and coming up. So that completes our back workout. Thank you for joining me. I have been Jacky Fenton with Body Torque Pilates, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.